I would suggest not taking things real personally that I say, because that's one of the benefits of me doing videos is they're not about you. They're my thoughts about things, and then you can apply them or ignore them at will, but I'm not talking to you directly. Some people in their comments get offended, like a guy seemed offended that I was against refrigeration and seemed to think I was against it for him to do. Okay, I don't care about this guy. He has no videos. I'm not judging him. It just doesn't matter at all what he does. And so when I talk that I'm against refrigeration, it's not that I am morally against it. It's not that I think it's evil. It's that I choose not to use it. I think it's a waste of energy. And I've also talked about exceptions to that, where we might want refrigeration in certain cases. I actually have an off-grid friend who has a refrigerator, and it's pretty impressive to me that he can do that. It's a very small refrigerator, but it's kind of cool. So, I may end up getting a refrigerator myself, and that might be one that's associated with a restaurant here, or, used by multiple people. And then that got me thinking about technology in general, and all the technology that I think we don't need, which it's kind of easier for me to talk about what I think we do need, what is most profitable. For example, I have a GPS right here, which I'm supposed to turn on. God dang it. I was going to GPS my walk today, because I want to know, I can tell with Google My Maps approximately what the distance is, but in this case I actually want to find out the real distance. So here we go. Yeah. And also I want to mark some spots on this particular route that might be like where I need to fix the road up, and I'm taking a different road. I'm walking to Z-Town. We'll call it Z-Town. And then I'm going to loop back down and go through Y-Town and then come back here. So it's going to be a great walk today. Also, it is a cloudy day today, which is awesome because it's much more comfortable for walking. I hope it stays cloudy this whole walk, because this time of year the sun is just hot and oppressive. But right now it's like wonderful out. This is, what is it? What month is it? May. The month of May. I think May and June I'm starting to really like, because I checked the weatherspark.com. You should know about weatherspark.com. I send out links to that all the time to people to discuss. These are ravens. These ravens are so cool. Oh, there's one right there behind me. Hi, Raven. How you doing? Are you upset about something? I think they moved their nest this year. I don't think they like me walking around. Dude, are you squawking at me? Hey! Hey! You talking to me? I would like to make friends with them, but I don't think that they want to be friendly with me. I don't think they like that I'm here. They see me as a threat. And in a sense I am, but I need to provide more water and stuff like that. Anyway, so I got my GPS. So let's go through the whole catalog of all the technology that is the basics of what I want to use. And I'm not going to count stuff like shovels or hats even, although this hat, you'll notice, has a strap on it. The reason that is good that it has a strap on isn't for pegging. It's so I can, if I want to, I can have it off my head, because it's so nice out that I don't really feel like wearing a hat. I wear a hat all the time when I walk around, and rather not. So let's not count that shit as technology, though. Let's just look at kind of higher technology. I'm not going to count glasses, although glasses are actually pretty important, and we can't make them. And yeah, maybe glasses would be technology. And I do have reading glasses because I'm old now. It's kind of annoying. And okay, so other technologies. Let's do inventory. Camera. I have one in my hand right now. I can't show it to you. A phone. Now, I hate the fact that it's now assumed that you have a phone. There's all kinds of web services you have to sign up for that you have to have a phone to do it. I find that exceedingly annoying. Super annoying. But that's how it is. You got to have a phone. And you kind of have to have an individual phone. You can't even share that with a bunch of people because let's say you have different accounts for stuff, then it's a security issue. And so I see that as a bug in software to demand that you have a phone, unless it's an app for a phone. So, but even like WhatsApp, for example, I use that on my computer and on my phone, and you have to have a phone. And there's a bunch of other services where you're required to have a phone. I guess that's a way of identifying you uniquely. And so maybe that does cut down on the scammer problem of people using a lot of fake accounts, although scammers have whole walls of phones sometimes that are running automation to spam people with. And I've seen pictures of those, and that's kind of annoying, but I don't like it. And you have to pay to use the phone. My phone can't do everything through Wi-Fi, and also I don't have cell phone signal here. So that's another technology I actually need to get, because I have people who want to come here who do all their work on their phone, so I need to buy a cell phone signal amplifier for connectivity. I have shit for cell reception here. There's some parts of the land where you can get like 2 bars, and but much of the time I can't get a connection at all in most of the land. So another thing would be I have Starlink. Well, that's a $500 dish when I bought it, and then around $65 a month or so, something like that. And so I think that's a legitimate, excellent technology to have, and that can provide, is fast enough to provide internet for quite a few people actually. And then I want to get more than one dish. My current plan is to get a new solar power system. That's another technology. And I want actually a full, large solar power system in 2 spots. That's what I need to start out with. And then I can have, I can build from there. But 2 spots would open up huge amounts of land to have connectivity. And I could even have wireless repeaters and shoot internet to further places in the land. And then a laptop computer. I happen to use Windows at the moment, Windows 11. I don't like it. Apparently it takes screenshots of your computer at various times. And I don't like that especially. I mean, who the fuck's in charge of Microsoft right now? I mean, I've liked Microsoft historically. And they've provided software that lets people be more powerful and get more shit done. So I've always been impressed with them, except lately they seem to be completely lost. You know, I hate subscription software, so I'm switching away from Office and using LibreOffice, which is free Office. I haven't checked out their database software yet. I think I did check it out, and my initial impression wasn't very good. But ultimately I'm thinking, and I really hate to say this, but I'm thinking I don't want to use Microsoft at all, and that I would rather switch to Linux entirely and come up with a whole suite of software, select software that works well for me, gets me what I want, and use open source stuff, use free stuff, and make that kind of be a standard. Because I just don't like the direction that Microsoft's going, and I've always hated Apple anyway. I hated Apple since the mid-'80s. You know, it's just their whole model, and it's more expensive for what you get. I just don't like them. What else? What other technologies? So we've got internet connectivity. I have a scanner. I actually need to find the cable for that. The USB cable. It's got one of those weird square USB things. So annoying. It's so annoying that there's so many different kinds of USB cables. I don't understand why. But whatever. And I'm going to get that scanner going because for the first time in many years I actually want to scan something. Also, I have some art ideas that involve collecting things out of the forest and then scanning them in. And then mixing those images, kind of like a collage, and then doing some other processes that result in some cool art. that is inspired by what I create from the scanned image. So that's not a required technology. That's also a perfect technology to be shared, because I want to set up like a little business center. I do own a printer, so a printer, a scanner, you would have in the business center. Also, one of the things I want to be able to do is loan people external keyboards for laptops and for tablets and for phones. And that way people can use a keyboard with their device. Also, I want external monitors so that people can use the monitor that's bigger, and they don't want to travel around with that stuff, because I've hosted a lot of travelers. And so that's something I could loan people, and loan it with a cable so we can lock it to the table and stuff. So that's another interesting technology option. Something I don't have is a water filtration system. I drink unfiltered rainwater. I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm not dead, but it's coming off of a dirty tile roof. It's not ideal. There's animals that live up there, and I did test my water and it tested fine, but I don't trust it. So I don't know what kind of water filtration system I would want to get, but I probably want a pretty good sized one. I don't want to fuck around with like little home ones or something, or anything that I have to keep buying filters for. I want to do like ozone and other UV, other ways of cleaning water up and making sure it's okay. Vehicle. I don't think you should have to own your own vehicle. I think that's a silly waste. Currently, I own a vehicle that does not work. And it's very difficult to live without a vehicle at all. It's very expensive, but it's also expensive to have a vehicle. And the way vehicles work in society is that most of them aren't in use most of the time. That indicates a colossal level of waste. So it's obvious we need shared vehicles. Those vehicles should probably come with a driver who's responsible for the vehicle. So you have privately owned vehicles that can be used by the entire community. There's a lot of technologies, and each one of them we could do some predictions on, or guesses at why we would have it or not. Kind of try as much as we can to think like the Amish. Should we have a cement mixer? I don't know. I know there were some Amish people who have a bulldozer, because somebody posted a video of them hiring Amish people with a bulldozer. So, why am I going this long walk? Because I have to walk. Fuck. That's so annoying. The fence right here is falling down. It's a wooden posted fence with barbed wire. And cows sometimes come up and down this road. So this is a spot where cows could go on my land. I have 3 kilometers of external fencing and wooden posts, and the wooden posts rot. So I need to have concrete fence posts, which also then brings up the question, should I make my own fence posts? Concrete ones. Or should I buy them? What things do we do internally and externally? Ultimately I'd like to get a forge and be able to forge stuff. And a blacksmith shop. I guess those are different. The forge is for what? Smelting metal or pouring metal? And then the other one is for pounding metal, I guess. With the lifestyle I currently lead, I don't need much technology. My computer's going bad, so I should really get a new computer almost every year, and then give the older one to another purpose. But I need a fast computer with lots of memory, because sometimes I'm running too much shit at once and it grinds to a halt. Also, it started rebooting randomly, which is not great. And I really appreciate the computer. It was actually a gift from a massive fan who's been a fan of me for decades. Like lots of them. Other technology, I guess I would include it as technology, is locks. Passing a gate up here, one of my gates, and have a lock on it. I did mention key card systems as an option the other day for doors, but those use electricity, and I don't like it. I mean, I like it and I don't like it. It would be so cool to have a key card you could just go through gates and stuff. Here's my gate. My upper gate. Which, by the way, where the fuck is the lock on it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, good. Kitchen tools, I think, are all optional. And what will happen is once my kitchen is running again and I have people and a solar power system, then we'll pick and choose. For example, people really like hand blenders and food processors. And I think, considering the labor-saving nature of some of those, I think some of them will be justifiable. And I would have to go through a list of every single possible kitchen device and then see if I can justify it or not. You know, like, should we have something to knead dough? Maybe. I want to set up a solar oven that can bake dough all day. I mean, bake bread all day. And so, you know, I want that. I mentioned a bulldozer. I don't know that I would want to own my own bulldozer currently, but a tiny one. I saw one you just sit on, like a tiny little horse almost. You know, you sit on top of it, and you can just dig places out. You know, should I have a brush cutter? I do have weed whackers, 2 of them, and one of them has a saw blade, a circular saw blade as the blade, which is pretty cool. And I've got, you know, many acres where I want to weed whack out 2 kinds of plants entirely. Actually, there's 3 kinds of plants entirely, but 2 of them are pervasive. And I want to clear them out and then plant those areas with anything else. Or, you know, because they just grow all over trails and stuff. And there's also another plant that produces burrs and seeds that get in your sock and then stab at you. And that's kind of annoying. So I need to be able to keep trails clear. Unfortunately, ruminants like donkeys would not work for clearing that. And also they might eat plants and trees that I want. Goats would be even worse. So we have to, if we do have goats and donkeys, then we have to control what they do. This is another place I need to put a gate in, right up here. This is a spot of land I never talk about. It's the, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. That's northwest. This would be southwest, the southwest corner over here. I want to put a road in here that cuts deep in through there and connects up on the other side, and then a building here that I can get deliveries to. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to get a better access in general to get here, but like if there was a heavy delivery, it might want to come down from that town, go in here, drop off all its shit into a storehouse, a secured storehouse, and it could continue on downhill. Also, if I was going to get water deliveries ever, which I never want to get, I could get them here and then use buried hoses, tube, to move that water down to other places. But I'd rather just have a really big rain capture system here or on one of the other hills, probably on one of the other hills, because this is close to the road. And all this could get bulldozed out flat. There's no utilities under here. There is a water pipe over there, buried. But yeah, clearing this out with a bulldozer. And really, this could be a future public-facing location for unknown use. But I'd want to pull back, put a fence, a wall further within it, and then have a building over there mostly hidden, and be able to offer things like a toilet, and perhaps sell food or drink. I don't know. I'm very much in conflict about whether I want to have anything that serves the public in any way. But I don't know what the future of this road is. Right now, no one uses it. except like farmers. But it's possible that this could become a more commonly used road. And so I might as well plan for a future that I'm not sure will ever exist. But it doesn't hurt to zone it correctly. You know, zone it for places people can pull off. Yeah, it's a tough one. Other technology. Well, pens. Pens are a technology, right? And paper. We can make paper, but it's not very good paper. We recycle it out of like egg cartons and stuff like that. I have a bottle cutter. I guess there's a lot of tiny things. I have binoculars. I could have a telescope. I have one, but it's been abused and it doesn't work that well because I let too many people just use it. If people have access to things that they don't own, they don't take care of them. So having shared resources is a continual conflict and problem to be solved. There's probably a lot more. I could probably just walk around my place and start making an inventory of every single item that exists and then think, how can we make that? I've already done pretty good at getting rid of technology, so that's a big win, is not needing things. Don't need things. But most people would not want to live how I live, so I need to carefully discuss each technology and make decisions about whether we should use it or not, what the effect of it is. And even something like phones, I don't like a lot of how they're used. That might be a reason to have one place or two places where we have a cell phone signal amplifier, or three, whatever, but that we don't try and increase that everywhere, you know, because it bothers me when people are on their phone all the time. On the other hand, if I have a large number of people and I want a high level of social organization, then I want people to be in communication with each other. You know, have the calendar of events and know what places are open and stuff like that. It's interesting that not all of the cedar trees produce seeds at the same time. I must have more than one kind of cedar here, because I have one that's going to seed now, and none of these cedars here are. That's another app I want to see, is something for seed collection. I think I found one that might work for it, and I wrote about it a little bit, but I forgot the name now. It's actually more about fruit collection, but I wrote the creators of it and was talking about how I want to use it for seed collection, and they actually have a beta version that could do that, where you could log it. So I'll be checking into them again. What is that? That is a bunny rabbit running for its fucking life. Go off the road. Good. Keep going. I don't want the native bunny rabbits to get killed by my dogs. It's not like my dogs have a shortage of food. I find their behavior obnoxious. But, oh well. I guess day packs, we're going to call that technology. I would actually like day packs with solar panels in them. And that's because I go for long walks and I'm relying on my devices quite a bit. And so I would like to have those for sale. I'd like to get a sponsor for solar panel day packs. And I guess we don't have to have solar panel day packs, because we could also have just, you carry a small flexible solar panel. Maybe one person in the group carries it and you can lay it out. But then you can only use it when you're stopped. And I guess the advantage of a solar pack with a built-in solar panel would be it's getting sun all the time and you're charging your device all the time. So I guess I do like that better. That's not an either or thing. We can have both. Both portable solar things. And a guy did donate one to me, but it doesn't work. He was passing through and donated it, but for some reason it can't charge my phone, so I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about making an Amazon order. I've gotten some donations lately. Thank you, people, by the way. I don't mention people by name as donors because those dogs never came back. Because it's a privacy issue. If I donated to something, that doesn't mean I want my name used. And so if people want to be thanked, I'm happy to thank them. And maybe I should have a form people can fill out and say, I want to be a public donor. Because then they get their gold star for supporting the project, and that even promotes the project. If you are a donor, you're certainly welcome to post that you've donated. Some people want to donate objects. That's a harder thing to do because it's hard to get stuff to me, and I'm very, very picky about exactly what technology I need. Like a guy did donate some hard drives, some old hard drives. And I think I got one of them working once, but most of them didn't work for some reason. And I could haul them out again, but they're big, bulky, and not very big in terms of space, in terms of disk space, hard disk space. You know, they now sell 5 terabyte hard drives quite cheaply, and I actually need, that's another technology, I need to get another hard drive or two because I'm out of space. I keep copies of all the videos I do and photos I take and stuff, so those hard drives do fill up. And if I get more people here and we're really cranking out a lot of video, then they'll fill up even more often. I might need like 25 gigabytes a year of hard disk storage, and those should technically be backed up since they go bad. But whatever. I guess the real thing is to create stuff with them and publish it as much as possible so it's really stored out there on the web. Although I also do create some private videos, but those could also be posted in a private way. Although nothing's really private if you put it online. That's why I don't like the cloud. I don't trust the cloud. I do want a media server so that all these videos we make, people can then browse them locally without using any bandwidth. We can have them indexed. We can have instructional materials. We can have stuff we wouldn't want to publish. So we need a whole intranet, not internet, a network internal here, hooked up potentially with fiber optics or Wi-Fi around it, encrypted. I need wireless routers with a VPN built in, or run my own VPN locally, and we could route a bunch of traffic through that. But I do care about security things and stuff, and we should probably, anybody who arrives here, even before they arrive, we'll tell them some security stuff, and after they arrive, we can train them on how to improve their digital security. You know, we can password check them, make sure they have good passwords, train them how to do that, train them how to remember them without putting a post-it down. Here's a vehicle. I don't like vehicles. This is a public road. I don't like vehicles because I could get robbed quite easily. Nobody around here has ever tried to rob me, but it's very unlikely they would do it. My local reputation is excellent. But yeah, still don't like it. Like, I need to carry another wallet that doesn't have my real ID in it. That has some other junk in it and has $20 or something to steal, so I can get robbed and not lose things that are hard to replace, like IDs or stuff like that. So that's enough about technology, I think.